It has begun.
Jerking, eating, drinking. What are we doing?
So it has. We're not doing any of that. What we're doing is we're discussing Bond, James Bond, the 25th movie.
But this is the end, fellas. This is the end.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, all these damn movies in this franchise. And I had a good time with this franchise. I'm going to miss it, but I'm glad it's over. Just because, which we'll announce it later in the episode, but we have a new wheel coming tonight. We have the wheels coming back. So it's like...
I forgot to ask what we're doing.
It's it's one of those things where you see how excited we get when we have the wheels spun and all that stuff, which is fun. But I'll speak for myself when it comes to these franchises, just because this is the tail end of it. I do enjoy franchises, especially ones that I've never seen, just because it's like I know I'm never gonna watch them unless we're reviewing them on either Horror Search 30 for a horror type or Popcorn Pints for non-horror. A horror one I'm more likely to watch, but non-horror. More than likely, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be honest with you. More than likely, I'm not going to watch it. So it's cool to get that in, and then to get all the references, the cultural references within movies and music and everything else from these films, as well as when we did the Harry Potter films last year and Star Wars, Star Trek. Shit, when I did Godzilla over on the scene Snobs, like all that stuff. It just feels it's so awesome to do it. To where it's like I am excited this is ending. I'm going to say this too. I do have not like franchise fatigue to where like I'll never watch a franchise again. I do have franchise fatigue a little bit, but I'm also excited for our next franchise.
How could you not after 25 fucking
right?
Yeah, but I mean like
consecutively.
But I'm still looking forward to the next franchise thing. So a break in between, of course, but I'm still looking forward to the next one. What's good?
Yo, Wilkie.
What's happening?
Movies and music. Go check them out. But
good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's bittersweet in a sense. Like I'm excited for the wheel. I'm excited to talk about this movie. I'm excited this journey ended, but it's like I'm gonna miss it a little bit.
We're in for a ride. Just look at James's face. He is high as fuck.
I'm good. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's climbing that ladder. But what does everybody else think though? Let's go around go around the table, go around the room and kind of look. Dude, I know you joined in later on, Chris, but still, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these films. Just in general, discussing franchises in general is like the basic. But go ahead, Chris.
Puerto Rican, Chris.
Caucasian.
You were talking to me?
Yeah, because you were just talking. I was just feeling
like the way you set it up. It sounded like you were talking to Puerto Rican, Chris.
That's kind of what I thought at first.
Well,
too.
What I was
What I did
No. What I said, I was doing it as filling him in because
you need to specify, Chris, by Caucasian or Puerto Rican.
I did.
That's how this works.
I said Puerto Rican, Chris. You just joined us a few weeks ago. Boom, 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 and now it's going back to you.
Yeah. So you set it up to ask him the question, and then you asked a question and blamed it on me that I wasn't answering.
Aaron's trying to start a race war.
I know. It's exactly. Look, we're 3 minutes in, and we're talking race war.
Oh, thank you. Those words never came out of my mouth. That was you. That was you two, the whites. But anyway. What do you feel about that though, Chris? Just like with the whole franchise.
Pick a Chris.
Caucasian Chris.
Okay. You have to specify. Dude, this has been a journey, and I remember trying to take this journey once before. Like I got through the Connery movies, and I think I got into the Roger Moore movies. And this is the time when Netflix was sending out DVDs. Princess Rage.
What's up? How's it going? Appreciate you popping in here.
Thank you. Back when Netflix, like I put all of these on my queue when Netflix sent out DVDs. So I was tried this at one time before, and I couldn't make it through them all. And I don't remember why, but to finally get through all these and see all the story and be able to compare the James Bonds. This is how 25 years. Movies, 50 years. People have been born and died in this frame. Like there's, this is not something you get to sit down and watch consecutively back to back and really be able to rank James Bonds in these movies without them all being out there. And this has been it's been fucking fun to go back and see the old shit, see the new stuff, how far this franchise has come, the turns they've taken with every James Bond, being able to watch them just so close together as opposed to anywhere from the 2 to 5 years between some of these movies.
Yeah.
Where
That
where you likely forget like what was the last one. Like you could see the advancement of technology, you can see the advancement in the writing, the acting, the storytelling, and I really feel like we go out on top with this latest one.
Nice.
What about you, James?
Yeah, the same thing he's saying. Like each Bond, like when they switched the actor, you could see it evolving. The tone turned darker at a certain stage. You're like, okay, now they're getting serious with the spy stuff. It's not like a gimmick.
They really flipped the switch with Daniel Craig. They flipped the switch with Pierce
100%.
Brosnan.
Yeah.
So before Daniel Craig, Bronson, Roger, Bronson's getting too close to the Craig. It's like the beginning of it. But Craig is like, because before Craig was, Bond's goal was, I'm just going to get in some shit, have sex, that's it. The Craig version, it's him old and breaking down. He's showing emotion now. He cares about things. So you see his mentality change.
Seen Snobs.
What's good?
What's happening?
So he got more. He found out where caring is a strong, not a weakness. So he's like evolved in a way.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. I think the Craig movies are really the only cohesive Bond movies in terms of an overall story. Like there's links for other Bonds and their movies, like between the movies, but Daniel Craig movies are literally one after the other, and they tie it all together to some extent.
No one time jumps, story. No years passing.
Yeah. But you got anything else, James? For it?
No.
Like as far,
I had fun with it. Yes, it's nice to have. Like, we're finally done. Just the franchise thing alone, not because of Bond. Bond is good. I like it. I enjoyed it, so I'm not like regretting it. Or like if we had more, I would watch them, of course. But yeah, like you said, I missed the wheel. And we're gonna have fun as hell when next franchise we do, because we're still gonna bring franchises back.
Oh, we actually. Oh, go ahead. Actually, go ahead. After Chris goes, I'll tell you guys something.
I'm too drunk to know what's going on.
But yeah, Bond fun. Glad there's a break for franchises, but I really enjoyed this franchise. I liked it more than the Star Wars and Star Trek franchise.
Yeah, there's a reason you can't see James's hands at the moment.
Ooh. Well, let's discuss that. Let's discuss that towards the end of the episode. Like what our favorite ones.
Okay.
That's a good discussion right there. I like that.
Under Star Wars.
But
I enjoyed
worst thing. What about
better. Yeah.
Let's table that conversation for the end. I'm gonna actually put that in our notes. But what about you, worst damn, as far as like just not just the Bond franchise, but just like franchises in general, just like discussing them as like a panel like this. Like I know you get, you know, because we did it with the Marvel shit.
Yeah, no, it's a great time doing a journey like this. Obviously, we were in for the long haul. I didn't watch them all with you guys, obviously, but you guys went through all 25. But I grew up on the original ones, but they just hit different. I love how the times change and they come up with it, and it gives you a new feel, like James said, in the evolution of the character of Bond. Technology gets dope, the effects get dope, the action sequences just get better and better, and that's just a testament to why this character can live on so long, just because he can do such great things and they pull it off in these movies.
Nice. True. And then as far as your feelings on just, I guess, moving on, you know, doing like a franchise, like how do you enjoy reviewing a full franchise and then moving on from it? Like, are you going to miss? I know you didn't, again, do you think you would miss doing a franchise in between the wheel thing, or is it
I don't think that. The great thing about doing this, how often do you get a chance to just sit there and watch a franchise? Like people, like they come out over these are the kind of movies that come out over the course of your lifetime, anywhere from like 2 to however many years apart. You forget what's happened, how like we living in real time. How much has technology actually advanced? How much has like the screenwriting advanced? and everything like that. And this was literally watching the fucking 60s to 2020s
Yeah.
in a row every week. Just time evolve, movie making evolve, and it I think it opens your eyes. It brings you a new perspective on these movies about where they started, where they come from, the similarities, the differences. Yes, there's still a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's the character of James Bond was born in sexism. It still lives in sexism a little bit, but the storytelling and just the movie making around the spectacle, you can see when they take a change, because I feel like it was a real dramatic shift once Pierce Brosnan came on. I feel like that's where the biggest advancement in the movie making happened.
Yep.
Between GoldenEye, when Roger Moore ended and GoldenEye came out, that was the biggest fucking jump in this entire franchise for me.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed. And say favorite Bonds for later as well. Say favorite Bonds for later as well. But shit, I guess we could dive into this movie though, and let's dive into early ratings then before we even get into the discussion of it, and kind of just see where they go from there. If anybody has a rating.
Fucking 10. I think they went out on the highest fucking note they could have possibly gone out on with this movie.
What about you, Worst Damn?
I'm right at a 9, only for the fact that I hate that he dies.
I cried.
I was sad.
I shed a tear. I shed a tear.
Not me.
Watching fucking Daniel Craig stand there as the fucking missiles came down. Are you kidding me? He's radioing his girl he's in love with, the mother of his child, saying goodbye. I'm like, fuck, man. Fuck. This hit me so much harder than I thought it would.
Riddled with bullets and everything.
And fucking Remy Malik was a great villain. Like,
he's the only villain that actually shot James Bond.
Yeah, I know. Like,
his luck ran out.
He emptied a clip into him almost.
The luck finally ends, man. This was a 10 for me. 100%.
Wow.
This is awesome. What about you, James?
I'm at an 8.5.
And Mick, you watched it, so you're in the comments. Drop your rating too.
I say 8.5 because the villain was a good character. I just wish they did more with it in a way. Like, it was cool about the nanobot thing. He broke it on James Bond. Says, "How now you can't even be near your fucking girlfriend and your fucking daughter, or they die." So he knew he was done for anyways. He was probably dying from the gunshots and shit. He knew he was dying. And he was like, I'm just going to go out because there's no time I can get out of here. And I can't be near you guys anyways. So he just, ended it. It was a cool ending, though. Like, that is a way to go out if you're going to go out if you're James Bond.
That is cool. That was just the way.
Right?
Yeah.
You got fucking missiles at you to take Bond out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that took him out.
You got to blow up the island with the missiles just raining down on him. Come on, man.
Yeah. And for me, I'm with you. Stars from my bar, I'm with you with a 10 because, again, the ending alone, it's just like, because I look at it, I'm like, that's Bond's most unselfish moment, to where he was like, listen, first, let me make sure I get the love of my life out of here. Let me make sure I get my kid out of here. And this new 007, who I know can protect them. Let me get them out of here first. I'm going to go handle business. I know I'm not going to make it off of this island. And I also know that if I do survive this, there's always going to be somebody after me. If I retire from this shit or not, which is going to be after my family. So that's how I kind of took that ending.
Well, even if he got off the island, it's not like he could be with his daughter or the daughter's mom again.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the nanobot. Like, maybe, James, I see what you're saying.
Well.
Maybe they could have done a little more development with the villain, Remy Malik, and that storyline. Possibly even introduce them in the movie before this or something. Because he wipes out Spectre in this movie.
Yep.
Like, that's a big fucking leap. Is you introduce a new person that wipes out literally the criminal organization that was behind the first 4 movies that they tried to connect. Like, this is a big fucking leap that you're taking here.
Just because you said it, how would you want to add him into Spectre? Just like kind of behind the scenes, you see him a little bit here and there, or he's
like they bring in like you don't even so Daniel Craig's in 5 movies. You don't introduce Blofeld and Spectre until the Spectre movie, which is the 4th movie in these 5th movies. There's no indication that there could possibly be anything beyond, or that Blofeld would have any other like person with vengeance against him or anything like that. Like, yeah, like it's a criminal organization. They do shady shit. They kill people. But I feel if they're going to try, they probably could have done a little bit better job trying to interweave the story. Like,
especially because that girl was in Spectre. So they could have had like a flash of her past with this guy.
Yeah. It's possibly a lot to introduce into this movie if you're trying to wrap up an overall story. But I don't even care. Just by the way it ended, by the way I felt at the end of this watching, because we haven't seen James Bond die. 25 movies.
Very freaking true.
He doesn't die. You introduce, not only does he die in this one, you bring in a character that you can feel he has a natural connection with in Madeline Swan. Births his daughter, like introduce his daughter. You know it's his daughter as soon as you see her. Like, even though she's lying about it.
Yeah.
And he knows it. She won't acknowledge it, but you know he's sacrificing himself for his family.
He has to.
Yeah.
He has to. And like
doesn't think twice about it.
Once he gets back, you know what was crazy about that and was like so like what do you call? I can't think of the fucking I can't think of the term, but where he was telling the girl, but when she was getting on the train, you'll never see me again. And then boom, I'm just like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, those words did mean something, but not till later on, and not for the reason you thought it would mean. Not for the reason you thought it would be. You know what I mean? It was all out of like love and everything else and saving and protecting somebody else, not necessarily like, fuck you, bitch, you're a liar. You set me up. And all this other shit. Because that's what it was at the beginning. But that's what it was at that point in the train, because he thought she set him up. Sorry. He thought she set him up through that whole shit. Like, fucking, there's the scene in the car was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie where it's really standing out to me right now is when they're sitting in the car and that whole group of people are how can
shooting
I say this online?
They're on vacation in whatever foreign country they are. They figure out James Bond is there because, and I love this because Madeline, who this blonde woman he's with now, encourages him to go to Vesper's grave, the woman he falls in love with in the first of his movies. Daniel Craig's movies, and basically let her go, acknowledge that she's passed, that time is done. And then he goes to the grave, he finds a card that Spectre left with the Spectre symbol, and it blows up. And now he's so sure that this is the only girl they've acknowledged he's loved since Vesper in these 5 movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he feels like he's been betrayed, even though he hasn't. Like, Blofeld plays it perfectly.
He does, because that's an easy way to be like, yo, she fucking set me up. Like, she told me to come here. I came here, and boom, I'm damn near gone.
He goes there out of love for her to say goodbye and acknowledge that he's okay to move on. And then after that happens, he sees it as such a huge betrayal, because how else could they have known I was here?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like,
and they made for the viewers like to set it up like that, because then it went to the next scene where she's like dilly dallying, put makeup on, like she's about to leave town, and you're like, oh shit, she really set him up. But then that's when he comes in pissed off, says, I don't want to see her again. But then you find out she really didn't set him up. It's crazy.
That fucking car chase, Aaron. Like he's mad at her. They're still trying to escape the Spectre because they're calling her a daughter of Spectre. And then he's stopped. He's letting them just pound on the fucking car with their bullets. And she is begging him to do something.
We have to talk about this scene, though, because you have to think of what level. Like, I understand being pissed off or whatever because you think somebody set you up, but what level of fucking petty do you have to be to just sit there when you know what your car is capable of, and because that glass could have barely been touched on that car, and he could have had that shit, did the spinny shit with the guns, and just took off as soon as he got there. But he was like, "I'm gonna teach her a lesson." Yeah, how petty do you have to be to put your own life in danger?
Well, is it that? Is it that, or he's hurt so bad that he just doesn't care?
Yeah, there was a moment where he even looked at the glass, and you could kind of see on his face like he was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? Like it's about to come through.
It could be that too.
He got slammed with Vesper when she double crossed him, and now he can't. He's in a situation where he can't believe it happened again.
Yeah. That's the part I forgot.
Where he believes
he forgot.
Yeah,
and that's why he took it even hard. That's why he took. All right, you know what?
Like this movie. This movie starts with him retired. He's not 007 anymore.
007. He's not 007, which we do have an awesome 007. That was and
I really like that relationship where I don't know the actress's name, and I'm gonna pull it up. But they
do or something.
Yeah, they bring in the black woman who's the new 007, and she's awesome.
Yeah. That she's getting jealous. I thought she was going to turn on him because of the jealousy.
There was a moment where I thought she was a double agent.
Me too. Yeah. Everybody say James 007.
Oh yeah, so MI6, right? And all of them, their like catchphrase or slogan is always for their country. You know what I mean? So like it was fitting that this is basically his last mission, and this one was for his family. You know what I mean? It's finally something. There's a different cause to the mission for this one.
Like his family's behind. Yeah, he has a family that he learns about, and he's doing it for them. But like, I feel like this is the biggest. Like you're talking about. I don't even know if you call it like a neurological weapon, something they can put basically in water supply, or something that they can wipe out millions. They can wipe out races.
It's biological.
Like biological, yeah, it's a biological weapon. This is, I think, the biggest thing Daniel Craig's James Bond has dealt with. He blows up this island. He's been infected with it, so he can't be with his baby mama and baby at the time. He's fine being blown up with the island, making sure he gets blown up.
Which just came out when, in 2021?
2021.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. That's a little too much of a coinky dink. I'm just saying.
But
I want to coinky dink.
I gotta say, she was badass in this movie.
She was
bad fucking I know we had the discussion of like, which I don't think I still wouldn't want it for a full movie, but as far as for like the part that she played in this movie as like a 007, a female lead, that I thought that was awesome for the part that she took over to.
I'd watch a show with her.
Listen. I don't know if you could replace the term 007 with an actual female, but I think it would be easy to bring in, not necessarily easy, but you could bring in a female agent that is on that level easily.
I agree. Mm-hmm. And I think this movie proved it. I mean, there was others, but I feel like this movie really solidified it because there's a lot of times that she saved Bond's ass.
Yeah. And there was the moment, like I mentioned, where I thought she was basically a double agent. Like Bond's, after Blofeld dies because of the nanobots, and it's on your skin, it's just in your bloodstream. Bond doesn't know it, and he accidentally kills Blofeld because he picks it up from Madeline Swan, who Remy Malik. I'm mixing actor and character names, and that's fine because I can't remember both. Remy Malik threatens Madeline Swan to kill Blofeld because he saved her as a child, which was fucking intense, by the way. The beginning of this movie where he goes in hunting because Madeline Swan is Mr. White's daughter. Mr. White killed Remy Malik's family, and they own this island. He goes in, kills Madeline Swan's drunk mother who's on the couch, and comes back however many years later. He's like, and trying to establish that connection between somebody that saved a life and took a life. Like, it's fucking intense, man. Like, this is, I feel like, some of the best writing we've seen in the series by far as well.
Yeah. And again, what I do love about these past few that we've watched is that like you said earlier, Chris, is that they're very cohesive. Like it's one after another after another after. It's not like one and then just another random mission, random story, random whatever. Still 007, still this is what happened in the past, but it's still like not a story tied to it. Versus this, and it makes you. This one makes you care more, like not like about Bond and everyone else, like kind of tied with him, like his group, his little group that he's kind of going through with these last few films, or it makes you care more about it because the stories kind of just they're more cohesive, and you can kind of see the which is funny saying this, but the bonds between between Bond and his crew, really, like you could really see how much they really care about each other because of the way the stories are told in these movies. And I mean, shit, when Bond passes in this one, how upset everybody was, how sad everybody really was, and other agents have passed in these movies, and they've never seen like. It was always like that's just a part of the job, even though they kind of said that with Bond, but this was like more felt like
yeah,
this really hurt.
that's an interesting thing because they've had other double O's die in these movies, and they've never had a scene like they do in this one where they acknowledge that, have a drink.
Because 007 was the top dog. Everybody, he had to piss people off, but they all loved him and respected him.
Yeah, but you would think, even with that, if another one dies, there should be some kind of real acknowledgement. Like they don't really show funerals. They show them dying. Like the guy, I don't remember which movie it was 009 running away in a clown costume that gets killed?
Yes, I believe so.
In one of the movies.
Yeah,
like
something like that.
They just verbally acknowledge it. Like they don't do anything to like mourn that for a minute.
It's true.
So maybe that could have added to the series. A little more weight to the series.
Yeah, but again, I feel like it's also because the series is more tied together. The stories are more tied together to where you actually care because it's like, oh shit, I can remember more from the past movie than I can from these other ones because it's something completely different. Like Spectre was still connected to this film right here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Versus it was almost like the other Bonds, as good as they were. It was almost like they were like a series, like a show series, where it's like, okay, episode 1 is like a Batman series. Like episode 1 is this, episode 2 is this, episode 3 is this. It's all connected because it's Bond, or it's all connected because it's Batman, but it's different episodes. And that's how I felt like those other Bond movies kind of were. Not in a bad way at all. Not in a bad way at fucking all. But kind of, sort of, maybe a little more connected than that, of course. But this just felt more like a connected franchise. Like you could take these 5 off of here and boom, this is boom, this is, you know what I mean? This is the one. So you don't need to watch any of the other ones.
Okay, here's an interesting question. So we're going into a new generation of Bond. Amazon owns the rights. They're trying now, for better or worse. We don't know what they're going to really do with it. Mm-hmm. Coming off of these Daniel Craig movies, where these were 5 movies tied together, as much more so than any other character that's played Bond. Can you make these movies without having some kind of end game in mind now over however many movies you plan it out? Can you just have individual movies until an actor just gets too old? Because the James Bond character is not going to go away, and nor should it necessarily. But can you have a movie just for the sake of a single independent story with James Bond going forward? Or do you plan it out over the course of 3 to 5 movies and build towards that moment?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think if Amazon's going to do anything with this franchise, I think you pick a James Bond, you plan out 5 movies, depending on whatever your timetable is, and you have an overall story you need to tell. I don't think you get away with making a single, like, beginning to end story in a single movie.
Shit,
I think I'll prefer if they did a series.
Movies.
There will be series.
Yeah.
Whether we want them or not, they've already talked about that. But the series will be like side characters, like Moneypenny and stuff.
Okay,
like
now, if they did a series of a side character, like say from this movie we just finished, the female 007, I would watch her, or at least someone up to that caliber of, you know what I mean? That would be cool. But as far as like,
You're hiring a new James Bond. You know there's going to be multiple movies. You're not signing that contract for a single movie.
There's gonna be. I feel like there's probably gonna be at least 5 movies, like you said. But then it's like, do you have multiple Bonds? Was that part of your question?
So
Or no?
how do you plan? Do you have a scenario where you're planning for, where you're hiring a James Bond for 4 or 5 movies, but they're all separate stories, or do you have one cohesive story?
I say a cohesive. I say a cohesive story. I say a cohesive. The way that this one went, I say a cohesive story, and on top of that, I maybe even say, if they can do it right to where it fits with the story, maybe let them do 6 or 7 movies. Like if you get somebody that's young, that looks young, and that way you can kind of have Bond aging. If you want to do that, if you wanted to kind of go that route, but then again, I don't know. Maybe 5 would be the limit though. At the same time. But then it's like, how many are they going to try to be catching up to these? Like, is Amazon going to be trying to catch up to these Bonds? Like, are you going to do 25 more fucking Bond movies? So we have 50 Bond movies? Or are you going to do like just 5, 10 more and then make a bunch of series? And then I guess another thing we have to ask too is, how many are there? It all depends on how well that first Bond movie does. Because if that just comes out and flops,
that's the risk, man.
Yeah,
that's the risk. You got to make that decision before you start making that first movie.
And the biggest thing they have to do, well, I mean, obviously besides the story, but they have to pick the right Bond. You have to pick the right Bond.
Well, that's the first step.
Please, 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 Amazon, don't fuck it up and pick somebody American. Go with a British actor, please.
Hold on. That is the one thing. That is the only thing I've seen them acknowledge about owning the rights is James Bond's going to be British.
Good.
And a British male. I think that's the only thing they've said. But other than that, no one's been super thrilled about Amazon having the rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, would you want them to continue on this story as a brand new Bond story, or do you want them to rewind?
Yeah, what do we want to see?
Like,
what do we want to see
honestly,
here? This Bond dies and they just hire somebody new?
Honestly, I'd want to see something fresh and new. And I'm only saying that because you feel like from the 60s on, let's just say I'm sure it was more than every decade, but let's just say every decade, the gadgets got so much better. So it's like, this one came out like 2020, 2021, let's say. I mean, it's by the time who knows when the new Bond's going to come out. So either way, I feel like it can kind of, but the only, I say just let it keep going.
So you want to see them, someone bring in some new 007, but acknowledge that this 007 died and take over the mantle, or that this never happened?
Take over the mantle. Like, it's passed on. The name Bond and 007 is a title.
I like what Wilkie's saying, by the way, in the comments. I don't want to have to follow a bunch of shit just to watch the movies.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and honestly, I feel like they shouldn't do that because I don't watch it, but I know there's a lot that do. I guess I'm
concerned they're going to try to take a Marvel approach to this.
I was just going to say maybe Stories and Worst Damn can kind of speak on that more as far as like watching the Marvel shit, and whoever else is in the comments, because I don't watch Marvel like that, but I know I got Marvel fatigue just from going from through the Endgame shit. I was like, they were great, they were excellent, but then like a lot of stuff from huge Marvel fans on Marvel had, like, they were complaining about like the ones that are coming out after that, and the big thing was it was just getting rushed out, and there's like you have to watch like 18 different things to be to watch this story or this next movie. It's like, just do the movie first of Bond, do a few movies, or do the series first, and then if you want to connect it like that, cool, but don't have it to where I gotta watch fucking 6 episodes of this, 4 movies of this, 10 episodes of that to watch the next movie of that. That's too much.
That's why I think what a lot of the concern about Amazon is, you can make these movies. You could probably do series about a couple of the side characters, and then just have maybe a small reference or Easter egg to those separate series while you're watching these movies. Okay. Not something that fucking affects the whole 2 hours that we're going to be spending watching.
I was going to say, so what? Here's one, just because I just thought of this. What if they did have a series and the movies were connected? But here's how they're connected. So like the side characters more so that you learn about in the movies that you don't really get. You get more of their backstories and shit, and then they're like in the movies, so you know who they are, but they're not like.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna do a Bond spinoff. I don't know how your first choice isn't Moneypenny.
Yeah.
Or Q.
I want to see something about Q.
But I mean, at the same time, though, you could have all those characters in one show, so to speak, instead of having it. Because then, because I'm only saying that because if you have a Moneypenny show, then you have a Q show, then it's like, okay, now here's M. Maybe I'm not saying they would do it. Definitely do it. But Moneypenny and
to
Q.
be fair, Q is kind of running the gadget department, so I don't know how you could base a show around him as opposed to him being the
easily
a secondary character.
Bond's in a pickle, and he has to create something. Like he got
By the way,
to create something.
He's got to get
forgot
out there and
I forgot which movie they introduced the younger Q in, but I'm a big fan of the turn they took.
I like him too.
It took me a movie to like him. But there was, who did I not like? I can't think of him. The new M, I don't like. I didn't like him.
I don't mind him. Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Yeah. I just couldn't connect with him. I was like, bring the older. I loved her. The previous M, I loved her. So just like
Judi Dench. Shout out to Judi. She was great. Listen, but this is also the first generation of Bond where we've seen an M die and be replaced.
Yeah,
that's part of the overall story, man.
Yeah, and then I mean to end it off with Bond dying, which is just like holy shit, and really quick.
Where Felix?
I was thinking about this earlier from when we were talking about
fucking Felix, man.
Yes. Oh,
we haven't even talked about Felix.
No.
Poor Felix.
Yeah, that was Bond's boy. That was his brother. That was his best friend.
That's he acknowledged him. Bond acknowledged him like he was his actual family.
He did. He said that because when his when the dude was on the ground dying, laying down on the ground, he's like, Bond, help me.
I've had one brother, and his name was Felix.
And his name was Felix. Then he put that truck on him. I was like, oh.
That's the only time in any of these movies where Bond, like maybe a distant reference of a parent, and Bond has acknowledged a family.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny part about it is, it's like when he's acknowledging a family and caring about others, he ends up dying in the end. Like not funny like that sense, but it's just like it's crazy because the last time he fell in love, the love of his life dies, and now it's like he's the one that's kind of, even though he's like sacrificing himself, he's still the one that kind of died instead of getting in a crazy ass situation. Well, still a crazy ass situation, but you know what I mean, like putting her in that and keeping her in that, even though she put herself in that. Actually, yeah, she threw herself in that cage. Never mind.
Like I feel like so going through the series, it was fairly entertaining. I would rank them as fairly entertaining through Roger Moore. Like all of them are they're fun to watch, and then you hit Pierce Brosnan with GoldenEye, and you're like, holy fuck!
Yep,
there is a turn here. And they finally picked up on getting with the times and doing something different. You get to Daniel Craig, he is the most fucking brutal James Bond.
I think he's the most complete.
This is the most, I feel like this is the most complete Bond we see, the most personal, the most invested emotionally that we see a James Bond.
I would almost say the most realistic in a sense of like, you're going to act different when someone that you care about, when something happens to someone that you care about. I don't care how professional you are. After a while, that's going to break you to where you're going to fucking snap and just, you know what? Fuck it. Because there was out of these 5 movies, there was a part where he was just revenge. Yeah. Revenge was his motive.
Yeah.
And as an agent, that's not supposed to be, you know, as his profession, that's not supposed to be your motive. And that was his motive at one point. And it's just like, this was good. There
are the few moments where I'm like, early on in the Daniel Craig movies where like shit happens that he's involved in that's literally not his fault, but he's being blamed for it.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't say, "No, I didn't do that."
He just
he's just literally he's fine with being blamed with shit. I'm like, just say you fucking didn't do it. It would have not caused so much trouble. Like M is yelling at him because she thinks he killed these people, and he literally had nothing to do with it. He's like, that wasn't, and he doesn't even bother to say, "No, that wasn't me." Like, like I understand being like not caring and things like that, but if I'm being accused of something I didn't do, I'd be like, "No, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that at all."
It could just be he's just so used to people blaming him for it, so he don't give a shit. So he's like, "I'm done. Okay, sure, keep going." It's like, okay, my bad. You know, it's like he's like, "Fuck this. Why bother arguing about it? Everything that happens, you're going to say to me because
he's going to have to do some shit anyway and make it right, and then you're going to be like, "Oh, Bond, thank you."
Yeah, yeah, you're a hero. Yeah, because how many times isn't that treason he went rogue like 2
More
times.
than that.
Yeah, every time he got reinstated, the motherfucker was outcast.
Yeah. Let's go. Every movie. Yo, you know what it was, Jay? It was like with Resident Evil where the chick gets caught. Every movie is back at that center and it's chained up again or whatever. Not chained up, but you know what I mean.
Now they tried to play it off with M. Like M is like giving him a lecture, but then at the end kind of hints like, so yeah, keep your license here, but so where you gonna take a vacation? Like kind of like winking.
Yeah.
Go
The first hour of every Bond movie is everybody doubting him, and even though they shouldn't because he's never been wrong, or sending him on a vacation to do a job. Like that's like
it's funny.
There's some things that probably won't change, and they not necessarily need to or anything like that because you kind of have to suspend reality a little bit, of course. But
and that's something I'm hoping that they don't mess up or don't change in the Amazon ones is like the little things that you can kind of complain about in Bond, but you watch through it and you're like, you know what? Fuck it, it works. I love it. Don't change that, please.
No,
don't change too much.
There's definitely aspects to these movies that you just toss aside and you're just fucking let it roll because you know what you're in for.
I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like we should all be in agreement. If this whole new Bond shit comes out and there's no ski chases, there's no sharks, there's no. I'm
never going fucking. If I ever meet anybody with James Bond, I am never going fucking skiing with them.
Oh no, I'm not.
No.
As a matter of fact, I'm not doing anything with them.
I'm not getting. I'm playing with them. I'm not going on a boat.
Yeah, no,
I could just be a person. Yeah, nah, man, I can't. I mean, what's your name? James Bond. James Bond. You know what? Fuck this. Peace.
Nope.
I'm driving.
Okay. Nope.
Yo, as soon as you say your name, what's your name? Bond. It's like, oh shit, that's the new guy. What's his name? Oh, that's Bond. Oh, all right, fuck it. Peace. I don't even want to know his first name. Don't need to know it.
Sharks,
all
underwater
that shit.
fights.
But you want it in the movie. Like you want that in the newer movie. If they do when they do the movies, you want that in the newer movie. Well, I'll say fuck that. It better be in the first movie. It better be in the first movie. I'll say that,
dude. If it's taking place on an island, sharks are all automatic. They're gonna push.
Yeah, but we need sharks, submarines. We need a ski chase. We need something. Maybe even a trifecta.
Maybe robot sharks.
No robot sharks, James. We don't want robot
lasers. Fucking
don't
lasers.
Give them ideas, then they're gonna be doing too much stupid shit with it.
I want sharks with lasers.
They're gonna end up really fucking it up and letting AI do the whole damn movie, which I hope they fucking don't.
Wow.
Listen,
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards. I hope they could. They continue it from the the movie. I hope it's like they choose a different.
you know what? The casting. There's been no casting for the new James Bond, but I think the casting is going to tell us a lot in which direction they're going to go. Whether they use Q or the M from these movies, like Q, a continuation of this Q, you could still do. He was younger in these movies.
Yeah,
I liked him a lot. If you bring in Ralph Fiennes again as M, if it's a complete reboot and they're introducing all new versions of these people, I feel like we are going to get a brand new James Bond. This has never happened. Anything before this is wiped out. It's going to depend on, I feel like, honestly, what we see the casting.
Honestly, I feel like they should just hit, even if they want to continue on with the story, I feel like they should just hit kind of like a refresh and just all new cast.
I feel I'm like 95% sure it's an all new cast.
The biggest reason why I'm saying that too is because I think it'll give it a more of a fair chance than if you have it tied to, because you're gonna have it too tied to the last one. To say if you have Q or you have M or Moneypenny or any of those, which I'd love to see. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like fuck, this is tied to this.
You know what's interesting? One of the things, and I don't know why I just realized this, as we've gone through these 25 movies. The casting of any other character than James Bond hasn't stood out to me as much as James Bond. Like, if they've needed to replace the actor for a character for whatever reason, I've been okay with it. Like, they've all been fine. Like, as long as they're serving their purpose. Like, I'd say the big, obviously, Moneypenny in the Daniel Craig movies is a former black woman agent that becomes the desk worker for M. Like, it worked. It was great. She was great in her role, but like, you're not focused as much on them. The new Q is awesome. Like you can,
Yeah, I like the new Q, and I love the new Money Penny.
The new money, yeah. Like, does it matter that much for those characters as long as they play them the way they need to play them?
I would say, as far as like, it doesn't matter as far as like having like a big name or whatever. Acting chops, I'll say yes. British, yes. Gender doesn't matter for those characters.
Yeah, it's particularly after Judi Dench when they brought her as M. They can go any way they want to go with going forward. I feel like with them.
Fair. But we'll. It's tough because it's one of those things where it's like I'm saying we'll see what happens, or who's to say if we'll even fucking watch it? You know what I mean?
They do a good job at keeping those characters simple enough, but they're still important enough. Because honestly, like I don't feel like any of the Bond movies it would be Bond without that collective around him. You know what I mean? With those other interactions, whether he's in the middle of a mission and Q's telling him, "Bond, don't forget about da 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 da," or whatever. You know what I mean? Or him getting scolded by M at whatever for whatever reason.
That's one thing they've done great in the series is like those characters are there and they've been reliable no matter who's played them so far for me.
I agree.
Like they've served their purpose for Bond, and I've enjoyed all the actors they've brought in to play those characters. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a notch in your belt, but at the same time, it's not something that makes or breaks the series of movies.
No, but
I got a question for you.
Hang on 1 second, James, please. But I will say this: like, if they don't stand up to the act, because all those people did a great job playing those roles too. Like, it wasn't just like they had some slouches coming in there. So that I feel is important. That I feel like is super important that you have those characters because each character, each M, each Money Penny, each Q, they had like their own versions of that, which I love. That kind of went with that Bond. You know what I mean? We went with that Bond's character, that Bond's attitude for that act, whatever the case may be. And even for the ones that kind of varied over, they still kind of blended it well or kind of switched over well. And I feel like these last 5 movies really put an importance on those. Bond's, on Bond's team, more of an importance on Bond's team because I feel like they got more of a shine.
So it's just a matter of finding the actors that work well with whatever Bond you're casting.
Yeah. To me, I get what you're saying. Like, to me, it's like you can't. I feel the same way about like, not the same way, the opposite about Alfred in like the '89 movies, and then Michael Caine's Alfred. It's like, yo, those are the two Alfreds that stick in my mind. You know what I mean? It's like before Michael Caine, it was always the first one from the '89, and I'm like,
yes,
man, that's Alfred. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed 1,000% on that. And
so it's more so of just the chemistry Bond has with the actors than who's.
I would say it's that, and I would also say again, those characters they have to be able to make it them, like to make it their own, so it's believable. Like how these again with this whole franchise, I feel like every actor did a great job at their, the ones that had those main roles did a really good job at those main roles.
I don't know. They're gonna reboot it. You know that they're gonna start with fresh. They're gonna milk it for all it's worth.
How would you guys think?
Oh, go ahead, James.
What about Amazon does this? What about Money Penny becomes the new M? Because Money Penny's still in it, but she's the head of the place now. She's been there for Bond forever. She knows what that title does. So the new Bond comes in. They get stuck in a relationship because of the title.
It's an interesting idea, but Money Penny's never been wrapped up in the political aspect of it. Much as M, the character of M has.
But she went to a desk job that could move up and towards that area of level. Like you start off here, so you know what's going on, take calls and everything. Then
but she's still helping Bond to break the rules and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I think she'll be a good M. She'll be doing that shit too. Like,
but it's not like M is. It's not like she's helping M. Or she's helping Bond as opposed to M trying to set, fucking fire Bond.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. I'm not saying it couldn't work by any means.
Yeah. I'm just saying in a scenario if they continue it on. Bond dies or replacing Bond. So they got, like you said, you got to jumble characters around. And because years are going by since he died, new 007 comes. Moneypenny could have had a promotion.
I see what you're saying. She's
went up ranks and became the M and shit like that. Then you got a Bond that's like 3 years of 007. Then we start seeing his stories because they already have a connection.
Honestly,
they're not starting off like a rookie. You're not a rookie if you're 007.
What I'll say with that though, James, is where I guess you can make it work with Moneypenny becoming M is from these 5 movies that we just watched is how badass Moneypenny is in this. You know what I mean?
I like the fact that they introduced this Moneypenny by shooting James Bond.
By her being an agent, so she has that backing of being an agent. And this, that, and the third.
This is the only Moneypenny we saw with any kind of background.
Yeah.
It explains her love for James Bond. It's a trauma thing. She feels guilt. Is for guilt love.
So she wants some guilt dick? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Yeah. She was so
Speaking of, what's the count?
Like she's in love with him.
James Bond doesn't sleep with anybody in this movie outside that he hasn't already slept with.
So we ended at
also we don't count.
We ended at 58.
Oof.
58.
I'm a little disappointed. We had him on a mission.
I was kind of.
He had a family. There's no cheating.
I was kind of hoping he'd hit 60. But no, 58, 25 movies. James Bond slept with 58 women.
He did. I would clap for him, but he didn't get to 60.
So that's. I don't know how you sleep with more than 2, but not 3.
That's like 2.12 or something like that, or 2.6 or something like that per movie.
It's like 2 plus just the tippy tip.
2 plus the tip.
Hashtag tippy tip.
1.7 per movie.
Yeah.
Let's dive into some of these questions we had before we spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. I got it. Here's what they're gonna do. All right. What they're gonna do is they're gonna have a new Bond to come in. They're gonna show some of that situation, and then Bond's daughter's gonna come back trying to dismantle it all, and the new Bond's trying to take out Bond's daughter.
Here's a question. Besides the obvious, who do we think is gonna be a new Bond? What do you want to see in a new Bond story?
Tom Holland.
No, besides an actor that's going to play James Bond, what do you want to see in a new story? Do you want to see a story where he has a family and a kid going forward? Do you want to see something where he's untethered completely and it builds to that over the course of 4 or 5 movies?
Honestly, kind of how this one built. Not the same story, no, but kind of to where you kind of see him, because I'm saying they're starting from scratch, kind of where you get to see him kind of grow. You got to see him grow as, honestly, you got to see him grow up as a man through this film.
Daniel Craig movies are really the only movies where they acknowledged him becoming a 007 through his death.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
If I want to see as if this James Bond survived and he's so pissed off because he can't see his daughter and his fucking girl and all that stuff, and he's just angry in every mission. But
if he already killed the people that are responsible for it,
there's always a new one.
Kill?
You know that. You know how shadows
work. They
always pop up.
No, yeah, I don't know. That's the thing with these. That's the only thing I can say about these 5 movies is like they introduced Rami Malek in this movie, who is essentially the ultimate bad guy he's been building towards, but there's been no build towards him outside of like him building to Blofeld. And this 5th movie, you could argue is probably a little bit of a money grab. Like you've established Spectre, you've gone after Blofeld, you've captured him by the end of the 4th movie. Like if you're going to make a 5th movie, what is it going to be about? This guy that wants revenge on Spectre and just fucking played everybody. That's the only thing where I'm like, it's a lot to bring in one movie.
Yeah,
it is. But
technically, couldn't he be a hero? He took out a whole organization. The evil organization, kind of like a hero. I don't know. I'm on his side on this movie.
Hey, some people agree with Thanos. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out there that don't need to be.
He you could say that, James. Like he took out an evil organization, but that was more so of like, I'm gonna take this one over, take this one out, and mine is gonna take over now. Not like I'm doing a good thing.
I know.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it wasn't that great of a payoff either for Blofeld and his death and stuff like that. But I like the villain in this one, Cyclops. He reminds me of a character skin in Fortnite.
With that said,
I'm leaning towards a whole new Bond adventure from beginning to end. I think you got to have a cohesive story. Who's going to be James Bond? Henry Cavill's getting a lot of attention.
I don't know.
I think honestly, I think he's too big to play James Bond. Like the James Bonds we've seen have not been that physically large.
That's
do
true.
You think if like Benjamin Cumberbatch bulked up a little bit,
and I love Henry Cavill. Cumberbatch, no.
What about Jensen Ackles?
Jensen's
not British,
right?
Supernatural.
Isn't he up for like Batman? Doesn't he want to be Bruce Wayne?
Oh, I don't know if that's true or not. He does, but I don't know if it's true or not. Like
everybody wants to be fucking the Bat.
Yeah, you still Aaron Taylor Johnson's name still being thrown around despite Craven.
What about
you can't always be
the main villain in The Boys?
That's a lot of, you know what I mean? You can't blame it on the actor.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what's his?
Carl
I don't
Urban?
No. The other guy that plays the dude with the like red, white, and blue, the one that goes crazy.
Oh, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could pull it off.
yeah, I don't
know, man. That is, I can't wait to see who they end up on.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Jason Statham in a hairpiece.
No. I don't want to see that fucker in any movie ever.
No, we don't need that.
Perfect one.
Why not, man?
Danny DeVito.
Nobody needs a fucking Jason Statham movie. Nobody.
You don't think I can play?
He's the same character as Transporter in every movie. He's the same.
Who was everybody's favorite Bond?
Jason Statham.
Craig. Mine's Craig. I like the darker tone.
Fuck.
The mental break.
Man.
It's very tough for me from the modern day ones that I consider like our age, our Bond. It's a tough one, but these I feel like pull off more of my attention, keeping me with the story since it is one whole. So I kind of say this is our Bond.
Fuck. I don't know, man. Like I realized James Bond was a thing with the Pierce Brosnan days.
Yeah.
So those were the Bond movies from my childhood. But after going through this whole series, watching these Craig movies, obviously the Brosnan era and the Craig era is different. Fuck, man. I don't know. GoldenEye was just so good, though. I think that's ranked. That's
what's hard
GoldenEye is ranked as the best James Bond movie. I'm pretty sure.
We'll get to that next.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go Craig. I'm trying not to balance out a single movie over an entire set of movies.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. I actually made a freaking list for this, so I'll just read down my list from least favorite to favorite, which I'm sure you guys know who my least favorite is. I've been saying it through the whole.
Lazenby? Who the fuck?
Yes.
Who the fuck cares?
George Lazenby.
Who the fuck cares? Lazenby.
Timothy Dalton. Sean Connery. Roger Moore. This one here. I think this movie, these last two movies really sealed it for me. But Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is my favorite, but Pierce Brosnan is a very, very close.
That's probably my order too.
Because like you said earlier, Stories from a Bar, where you were saying how like Pierce Brosnan's really changed the tone. I feel like Roger Moore's did a little bit, but Pierce Brosnan's. I mean, you can even say Dalton's did. But I think Pierce Brosnan's really took it to that next level of action.
It was a different level.
It took it to that next level of action to where like Daniel Craig was like, all right, I see where you brought me. Now I'm gonna take it up some. But the jump from Brosnan to those was a bigger jump than from Craig to.
You know what it was?
I mean,
I think
Brosnan.
The jump to Brosnan was noticeable. Brosnan was noticeable action-wise and just overall big budget-wise. The jump from Brosnan to Craig was noticed personally, like character development. Like holy fuck! Like he's so much more brutal and personal Like
Yeah.
Brosnan has the highest body count of any of the
fucking does.
James Bond movies.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Which, I mean, we might as well dive into this. Who was your favorite, or what was your favorite Bond movie? Mine was Goldeneye.
GoldenEye.
Mhm.
Just because the action with that just, I mean, the fucking Pierce Brosnan is what introduced me to Bond. I've been over this with the Nintendo 64 game, and then you see the GoldenEye movie. And the GoldenEye
Has
game,
the James
action was
Bond
so fun.
Bond name made any more money off of GoldenEye than they have with any other movie?
That's a
a good
great question.
That's a really
That's a
good question.
great question.
Damn, man.
I don't know. That's
I might have
tough.
to lean towards GoldenEye too.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way they've made more money. GoldenEye has to be the most money-making name of the James Bond franchise.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough for me. The second one in this, or what was it? Not Skyfall. Of course,
Skyfall?
Casino Royale.
Yeah,
Was it Casino Royale? Skyfall. That was the second one.
I would rank Skyfall as second.
It's close to me between Skyfall and
Skyfall was dope too.
GoldenEye, but again, this one is so far up there as well that it's almost like they're all tied for the same spot. If I have to choose right now, just because I just watched them, it's got to be Pierce right now, or not Pierce, Daniel Craig,
And then
and
another
then Pierce
question
Brosnan.
another question before we spin the wheel.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The highest grossing James Bond film. Anybody want to take a guess?
I feel like it's gonna be one of the newer ones.
It has to be just because of ticket
over
prices.
$1 billion.
Skyfall.
Any other guesses?
I'm gonna assume this last one.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Skyfall.
Okay.
I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
You know what made me think? Because the
Adele,
Adele song
man.
sticks out
Yeah.
so much.
Spectre and No Time to Die were the next ones, but that's also probably a
because the
fucking
That
time,
shit,
just a time matter of time.
Yeah.
do they go off of how many tickets were actually sold for the box office? They just go off of ticket amount
no.
because at $22 a ticket these days versus
That's
fucking
that's
$6
another
a ticket.
another
You know
thing.
what I
This
mean?
doesn't talk about inflation because GoldenEye's ranked number 8 at the list I'm looking at.
That's crazy.
This is literally almost in order of just the way they came out,
Damn.
All right, guys.
with the exception of Moonraker at number 10.
Moonraker. That was a fun one, man. Moonraker was such a fucking fun Bond.
No, but this is clearly also a matter of the times.
Mm-hmm.
But to date, Skyfall is the highest grossing movie, which, by the way, had one of the best theme songs. Skyfall with Adele, and what's the one with fucking... Oh, I can't think of it. It's going to kill me now. Not the Beatles, but fucking...
I couldn't tell you.
The Monkeys?
No, the guy from the Beatles.
Paul?
John Lennon?
Paul
Lennon?
McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Saying that-
Oh yeah, I forgot what the song's called.
That's the other best theme song. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get shit for that, but that's fine.
What's
Skyfall.
everyone's favorite franchise that we reviewed so far? And if you've watched them out there that's watching us, let us know too in the comments. But so far we reviewed Star Wars, Star Trek, and that includes the old and the new of Star Trek and Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Bond.
I had fun watching y'all do the Star Trek and the Harry Potter, but the one that I was part of, what was the first one you said?
Star Wars and Star Trek.
It's definitely not Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Star Wars was your favorite overall,
Yeah, so far.
or I'll say your favorite franchise overall out of all.
That's too hard.
I'm too drunk to. I'm too drunk to think about that. But as far as what we've done so far, I'll go Bond, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Ooh,
Yep. I'm with you. Same thing. Same order.
damn.
I mean, I read the Harry Potter books, and I was a fan. So
They were good, but for some reason I really enjoyed the Bonds.
They were just fun. They were just fun, and I mean, you got to see such a big evolution of the Bonds, and you got to see different people playing the Bonds versus all these other franchises. For the most part, you had the main. Well, besides Star Wars.
It's not. It's not even that. This was the evolution in movie making and writing. We got to see along the way
too. Yeah, you got to see a lot. Actually, fuck yeah, you got to see a lot of growth in technology and everything. Yeah, fuck.
And I think what's interesting is the way they choose to handle. Because listen, when there's like 50 some odd books of James Bond that started coming out in the 50s, they're racist as shit. There's fucking womanizing the shit and stuff. Like, how do you adapt that stuff for more modern audiences and still stay true to the overall storytelling that you're trying to get across? Make a good spy movie based on the character that people know. Like, there's a challenge there.
Yeah.
I may have to agree with your lineup, Chris.
Hey, Kim, if you're still in here, you're talking about Skyfall, Tomorrow Never Dies, GoldenEye. Which movie did you say was garbage? Or No Time to Die?
Well, if she's talking about this one, she's wrong. I feel like that's important to say.
That's why I want to clarify. I want to know.
Hey, that's fair.
Time to spin that wheel while we're at it, though, gentlemen.
Yeah, what are we doing? This franchise is over. What's next?
Yeah.
So we behind the scenes, we made a new wheel, a decades wheel that we started from the 30s all the way up to the 2020s. We each picked one movie per, and
there's a lot of movies.
Now we're gonna see what we're just gonna be discussing. So we're gonna pick two movies and
hey, Madison, welcome in.
The decades wheel.
Hope everybody's having a good show tonight. This is Popcorn and Pints. Thanks for coming on through, spending some time with us.
Oh yeah,
thank you.
Bond tonight. 25.
And anybody that takes the time out of their day to actually watch us idiots, thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah. Like, we really love doing this shit. So this means a whole lot to us.
This started as a COVID thing, as us just getting together and hanging out and getting drunk and high. But now we're fucking however many years later.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy?
30?
Reefer Madness, 1930s.
Nice.
I've never heard of this.
It's actually one of the ones that I have picked.
Hang on, let me just... fuck it, I'll spin it again real quick. But Reefer Madness.
All right.
Oh, so we can mix decades in one way.
Yeah, that's why that's why we did it like this versus like the other way where we had, the 80s wheel and all that other stuff.
Is Reefer Madness even available to watch somewhere, anywhere?
Yeah, it's somewhere.
You don't know.
It's somewhere. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah. I forgot to take it off the wheel, but I will after this one.
Are you familiar with it?
Nope, never heard of it.
Nope, it's going past up.
The hell is this?
Dolomite.
Another one that was... That's awesome.
It'd be an old-ass week.
Yeah, the 40 years apart. Well,
the 30s
more
and
or
the
less.
70s.
30s and the 70s. That's how we're doing it next week on Popcorn and Pints, and it's going to be a fucking good time. I can't wait for that. Happy the wheel's back. Gonna miss this whole Bond thing again. We're ending it
franchise
with
break
right here, but we're taking a franchise break and shit. Look where the fuck we are, guys.
Fellas, congratulations on making it through all the James Bond movies.
Grab my
and
jug of water.
Special shout out to Mick from the Scene Snobs.
Hell yeah.
For taking this ride with us.
Our other brother who's not here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. He enlightened us on a lot. This has been quite the fucking journey.
It has been, and I'm excited to see what's next. And what I was gonna say earlier, because we've been discussing this behind the scenes, cat's out the bag now, but we are going to be putting together a franchise wheel, and that way we'll just, whenever we spin that wheel, it doesn't mean we're doing that next week, next month. That'll be the next franchise that we do. We'll discuss it behind the scenes.
The arrow on the wheel is going to be in the shape of a penis.
It's not, but we didn't discuss that. But I don't think that YouTube and all that shit will like that.
It's going to be James's penis.
No, but
they won't.
He volunteered. It's going to be too
be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for the franchise wheel and just this decade.
It's an Easter egg. You got to try to find it.
Where's Waldo?
There's gonna be a graphic of a microscope. We're gonna have to bring that on. I'm fucking drunk.
Wow.
So hopefully you guys will be here for that. But shit, make sure you guys check out the Scene Snobs. Make sure you guys check out Stories from a Bar, Worst Damn Gamer Ever, Horror Research 30, Popcorn and Pints, and just come back here next Saturday at 9:00 Eastern time. I'm actually gonna be gaming after this about an hour and a half from now. playing with a few fun people. Warstam's gonna be there with me. I just got to take a little break.
One hand on the controller, one hand mysteriously somewhere else.
Nah, both hands on the controller for this
Well,
shit. I'm scared to be beating my meat for this game.
All right.
But
before we
maybe
end,
that's how he's
salute to Bond.
Yeah.
maybe he's got 3 hands on the controller.
the agent, yes, definitely
Commander Bond. Commander
Bond.
Commander
Thank
Bond.
you. This was definitely a fun journey. And
you salute with your right hand, never with your left.
We're here.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
And we're out. Thanks for popping by. Peace.